Today I thought we'd take a look at this Batman the Animated Series Alfred Pennyworth from McFarland Toys. So yeah, like I said, we're going to take a look at this McFarland Toys Alfred Pennyworth figure, and I've been looking forward to getting this figure for quite some time. If I was to go back in time and tell my younger self that I would one day be looking forward to getting an Alfred Pennyworth figure, I'd probably laugh in my own face. It's not the kind of action figure I would have got excited about as a child. But collecting the Batman the Animated Series figure line has been an absolute pleasure over the years, and it's one of my favourite cartoons series of all time. Just absolutely hands down one of the best animated TV series of all time for me. And as you can see, I've got quite a few of the other ones here, and you just have to have Alfred Pennyworth. But in the past, he was only available in the Batcave set, and in all honesty, I did want that set, but in all honesty, it was just too big. I can't store that in this little room. There's just nowhere to put it. It would have just simply gone into storage in its box, and I don't believe in doing that. I believe in cracking them open and getting them out and just displaying them how they were meant to be displayed. So yeah, recently McFarland Toys have actually been re-releasing the DC Collectibles line under their own name, and I'm just grateful that they haven't used the cell shading on this one like they have done on so many of the other re-releases. This one, like I said, you can class this as not really a re-release because it was only available with the Batcave, so they haven't opted for the cell shading on this, which I'm really grateful for. So without further ado, let's crack this baby open and have a look inside. Okay, and here he is, and before we get into the actual figure, let me just go through some of the accessories that you got in the box. We have the regular McFarland trading card with, of course, Alfred Pennyworth on the front here and a little bit of a bio on the back. Real name, Alfred Pennyworth, a former British intelligence officer, field medic and trained Shakespearean actor. Turned butler, Alfred Pennyworth is the most loyal friend and confidant of both Bruce Wayne and Batman. So yeah, nice little trading card included there. I've started saving these now. I used to throw them away, but I think they're a nice little addition to save. 4 pairs of hands to go on Alfred Pennyworth here. And here we have a feather duster that I may display Alfred with, but I think I'm going to go for the actual tea set that comes with the figurine. And as you can see, and as you can probably imagine, it's going to be a little bit tricky to get all these to stand up and actually stay stood up on my shelf, because these figures don't like to stand up. Every time I come into this room, I can guarantee there's one of these figures that has fallen over. So this is no way going to stay intact, so I think I'm going to have to think of a different way to attach all of these to here, maybe a little bit of blue tack. So here we have the actual figure. In way of details, it is very well detailed for what it is. He's a butler, so he is very simplistic. But that doesn't mean that there's not a lot of detail on there. It just means that this is all that McFarlane had to work with, and for what it is, they've done a very good job. The face sculpt is really good, and for some reason on camera he looks a little bit strange, but with my own 2 eyes he does actually look like he's been pulled straight from the cartoon. But on camera, for some reason, he looks sleepy. He looks sleepy, or he looks zombified, but in real life he does actually look the part. He really does. I don't know if it's the angle. There you go, you get a little bit of what I'm seeing with my own 2 eyes here from that kind of angle. It's bizarre. It's like some kind of weird optical illusion. But yeah, the McFarlane have actually done a really good job with the detail on this. Like I said before, very simplistic, but that is what the character is in the series. He's always more or less wearing the same kind of clothing, unless we see a kind of Alfred orientated episode. But this is 9 times out of 10 the design we got with the character. He's very well articulated, all the normal articulation you would expect from McFarland Toys and DC Collectibles. The head turns and goes up and down a little bit. Not much down, but he can look up a little bit. At the back here, we've got these coattails on the back of the jacket, which is like a rubber molded material. That is around the middle of the body. So the arms are hard plastic, and then we've got this rubbery material around the inside, so we can get these tail bits on the back here, which is a very nice touch. And the legs are very well articulated and very not loose, but easier than most. I don't feel like I'm going to break this when I'm bending it. And that is a very, very good little touch, because most of these figures behind me here, let's just see if I can focus in on those. There we go. Most of the joints on these babies are really stiff. Really, really stiff. So it's nice to see that these joints on the leg here are not as stiff as you would normally find. If I've got one little nitpick with this figurine, and it is a nitpick, is the actual moulding on the top of the head. It seems like they made a little bit of a mess. I don't know if you can capture that with the camera, but as you can see, it looks a little bit of a mess around the head for some reason. But from far away, let's get some focuser. From far away, you can't tell, and it doesn't really bother me that much. Now let's try and get this tea set into his hands. And here he is holding the tray, and I'm not 100% sure whether these are the actual hands I should have used for him to hold the tray, but they're the hands that I found it easier for him to hold the tray with. So these are working for me, so this is what I've gone with. Now let's try and get the actual tea set to stand up on this tray. So first we have the teapot. Then we have what? See, here we go already. Then we have the sugar pot, I presume it is. Then let's try and slip a little plate in there. There we go. A little bowl of something, I'm not sure what that is. And then finally, the cup. Oh no. Oh no. Let's try that again. Let's just neaten everything out here. and then the cup. Here we go. Stand up. Yes. So we've got it all in his hands. I have no doubt that this is not going to last like this. So like I said before, I'm going to have to introduce some blue tack to this, I think, just so it all stays in one place. There's no way I'm moving this over there and all this is going to stay up. Okay, so I've got the smallest amount of blue tack here, and this should be more than enough to stick to this little tea set, to stick all the little cups and teapots onto this little tray, and hopefully they won't fall over. So here we go. Okay, I'm not going to lie, that was incredibly fiddly. I think when I actually have some super glue, which I don't have at the moment, I think I'm actually going to super glue these onto the tray. But let's just give it the test. Here we go. I'm actually quite nervous about this. Okay, it seems to have worked for the moment, but believe me, it's not actually stuck down all that well. But that was a successful upside down test, and now let's see if I can get them in his hands without them falling off. This is possibly the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done. Okay, success. We've actually got the tea set actually in his hands, and it seems somewhat stable, so I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, there's the Alfred Pennyworth figure from McFarland Toys. I'm quite happy to have this in my collection at last. It will be going back there any minute now onto the shelf where it will stay forever because I never want to touch it again. I'm quite confident they may stay on there for at least maybe half an hour.